Hey friends, welcome to the channel. I'm Ken Smith and I'm just an old guy having fun with trains. I'm giving you a 90-day update on exactly where we are with our model railroad. So let's take a look and let's get at it. Now, when we first started 90 days ago, this didn't exist. In fact, there was actually a trailer sitting in here and this was just a hot mess. I'll put a link down in the description so that you can actually see what it looked like. But 90 days later, everything was taken out. We've installed electricity because it wasn't installed before. We've built all of our bench work. We have painted our backdrop. We started laying cork, and this coming week, which is the week of the 11th, I think, May 11th, we're gonna start laying tracks. So we're super excited. Our goal is to have a train running around this entire layout by the 4th of July. Now, the majority of what we've done this last 30 days is what you're looking at. We've actually put in an access hole. We painted the backdrop. We laid all of our cork. Well, I shouldn't say we've laid all of it. We've laid all of the level areas for cork. We've got risers that I'm going to make and install so that we've got about a 3% grade that comes across up here and across that back wall, and then a 3% grade that starts working downhill until we get to right about there. And then she'll be level all the way around and coming back. But let's take a little closer look. And by the way, this is going to be a canyon, and we'll have a bridge here in the front, a bridge here in the back, and I'm going to try and duplicate rock tunnel on the Cumbers and Toltec. So let's kind of take a look at how I went about doing all of this. Now, I photocopied switches, and these are the micro engineering switches that I will be installing, and this is micro engineering track that we're going to be installing as well. And so I just kind of laid a couple of pieces down to, and they're just sitting here. They're not actually glued down or anything like that. This gives me a good visual based on our track plan that we had drawn up, and that is how this is going to be a yard, a small little yard, more like a passing siding and maybe a track. The main line is actually going to be over here. This is one feeder to our yard or passing siding. This will be the other. And then over here, this is actually going to go to a 2-stall engine house right there. Our town is going to sit right where the dropout section is. And so when we go to lift that out, I should say it's a lift out section, not a drop out. When we go to lift that out, our entire town is actually going to be sitting on the bulk of that. So it will hide a lot of the joints right there. Now, along the back, you'll notice that this is kind of a compressed look. But what our goal is as this is going uphill and then coming around this corner, our goal is that we're going to have some rock facing and some cliffs and that type of thing. A small little tunnel. I plan on making that tunnel so that it actually is a lift up, so that if I need to access any of the track, I can. That's kind of our goal here. This is also going to be kind of some rock faces and whatnot, and the canyon area is going to be in this general area as well. This will be more like some rock facing and whatnot. We're going to have probably 2 small tunnels, and when I say small tunnels, I'm looking at almost as if it was kind of like rock blasted through. So no tunnel portals or anything like that. Maybe a small little snow shed, but nothing super drastic. Again, I have a very compressed scene that I'm trying to create here. As we come around in the front here, I plan on having just a small little rock outcropping, and rather than the railroad blasting a bunch of dynamite and whatnot, we just kind of made a little tiny little S-curve. Just again, add some visual interest so it doesn't look like the trains are just running in a completely straight line. I may end up cutting it out right here and put in a small little bridge, maybe a little creek that kind of goes off that way. Maybe that creek will run down here parallel for a little bit and then kind of head off in that direction. I haven't quite decided how I want to go about doing that. Again, small little yard that sits right in here. This will feed into, and don't laugh, but hey, this gives me a good visual idea of how things are going to play out. That'll be a turntable, 6-stall roundhouse. Remember, we're running 1880, 1890 locomotives. So the biggest thing we're going to have is probably going to be a 12-wheeler. More than likely, we're going to be running some 260s, some 440s, and some 10-wheelers. I do have one 12-wheeler. It's an old Tyco, and I haven't decided how I want to go about repowering that and redoing all of that. Over there is one switch. Now you might be thinking, well, how in the world is he going to service that switch? Well, let me tell you, that whole thing right there slides right out. And so I'm able to actually get back there. And fortunately, I'm a pretty tall guy, so I should be able to reach back here without a problem. But I definitely have access over there because this whole section literally just lifts right out. I don't plan on powering that siding for the out of gold stamp mill and mine. Honestly, as I've told you multiple times, I'm kind of more of a guy that just likes to build things. I'm not really an operator, so that's why there's not a ton of switches in here and whatnot. We've got enough switches to add some visual interest. We're going to put maybe a small little ice house right in here. That would look kind of cool because I have a ton of period correct era ice refrigerator cars, and so it would kind of look nice if we had a small little ice house and an ice platform there. But we'll kind of see how that goes. But what I may end up doing too, after I've got done painting the whole backdrop, is I may end up tracing this out and then trying to paint some mountains in the back that kind of look like they're off in a distance. And I haven't quite decided yet if I'm going to go ahead and do that. But throw some notes down in the comments. I'd love to hear what you guys think. All of our cork, by the way, I did a short. I found all of this on Marketplace for just 10 bucks. And it's 1/8 inch thick, which is great because I really didn't want a very high profile. And if we take a look here, you can see it's not a very high profile. This is kind of the way things were back in the day in the late 1800s, early 1900s, before road beds, especially in the mountains, kind of narrow gauge. Those road beds really weren't like the main lines that we have today. So here's what's next. We are on our way to Winston-Salem for a big train show that's down there. And I got this done just in the nick of time so that I can see if I can find any goodies. So heading down there, I'll be sure to do a video on that as well. So make sure you give us a like and subscribe so that you get all of our content. Have a wonderful day, and you all be blessed.